welcome back to my channel. My name is Tommy Daniels and
I am Seyi Daniels.
So good to have you join us today. It's good to have you. Today we're going to be talking about a really important topic, almost like a taboo. We're talking about money.
Greenies.
But before, the greenies. But before I actually go into that, first of all, let me just say thank you to all my new subscribers. Thank you so much. In the past month or so, my subscribers have grown quite significantly. I know I've still got a long way to go, but I do appreciate every single one of you. To everyone that watches, leaves comments, I'm still having to beg for comments, but thank you for those that leave comments. It's really encouraging. And if you're one of those that watch and leave comments privately or send me a DM or tell me in person, I appreciate it, but I would appreciate it a lot more if you actually drop the comment on YouTube. It really helps the algorithm, and also like the videos. If you do like them, please like them. Okay, so that's the intro. Just wanted to say a big thank you. And also, if this is your first time of seeing my face or seeing our faces, my name is Tommy Daniels. I film about
films about faith, lifestyle, career, property, travel, and everything in between.
Well done. You mentioned relationships.
Relationships, she loves love.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely something that you'd enjoy on my channel. So please subscribe. Just do that now. All right, now that you've done
the notification button.
Yes, so that you'll be the first to be notified anytime I post a new video. All right, let's get into today's topic. We're talking about, we've written some points here, so we're going to be looking now to read a point. So we're talking about how we went from being broke to building a growing seven-figure property portfolio.
Yep.
And I've actually chickened out of doing this video a couple of times, and Shay's just like, nope, just do it. And I was like, I don't know, people are gonna think, I'm just trying to give myself excuses. But here we are filming this video together. And I think, me second guessing it also kind of shows the taboo around money, and how people just don't like to talk about it. But I think it's something that should be talked about more. It's what do you think?
There seems to be just something mystical.
Secrecy, secret. Hush. Don't tell anyone how much you earn. Don't tell anyone how much you have in your bank account. But anyway, we're not telling you how much you have in our bank account. Okay, so we're going to be talking about how we went from being broke to building a growing seven-figure property portfolio.
Yeah.
So I guess before we get started, just kind of, this is an interview. I'm asking Seyi Daniels. So I guess since you've been an adult, what has your relationship with money been like? Have you always had a lot of money? What has your adult life anyway, or working adult life?
I think my relationship with money was pretty defined quite early on. As a young person, for me, I always knew that money was a tool, and I started doing business when I was in uni. So I was earning money, paying bills by myself, and then so I've had a good relationship. I think typically I just had money to do whatever I needed to do, not excess, but just enough
to get by.
Yeah.
I think for me, most of my adult life, apart from before I went the job I had before I went to do my masters, but most of my adult life, or maybe most of my adult life when I had more responsibilities, I kind of found myself in a position where I was living from paycheck to paycheck most of the time. And because I even remember before I got married, when I went to rent the place, I remember before I went to rent, it was like a shared accommodation. But before I moved there, I was thinking, would I be able to afford this? Because I didn't necessarily have the amount I was paying towards rent. I didn't have that money saved up every month before I got, and I was still on the same, but I was like, I had to do it. So I moved out and went to rent, and I was there for 18 months or so, maybe almost 2 years, I don't know, over a year anyway. And never for once was paying the rent an issue, and I was still earning the same amount of money. And that just taught me that it wasn't so much about me not being able to afford it. It was just the fact that I didn't have any goals set. I didn't have anything I was working towards. So any money that comes in, it just goes out. There was no accountability. I wasn't saving anything.
Money where I get like this, any little change, now enjoyment. No worry about my future. My future no dey go anywhere.
Myself living from paycheck to paycheck, but the more the responsibilities increased,
Yeah.
I had to get disciplined in terms of how and even in marriage as well. I think even when we got married, yeah, like it wasn't like money wasn't necessarily flowing. Like we were doing very okay. Like we could
Yeah.
afford, the things we needed. Sometimes we're tighter than other times. Maybe if we had projects going on, but generally it wasn't like we just had excess funds.
Yep.
Flowing. Sorry, it wasn't like we had excess funds lying around. So that was our relationship with money. So how did we what changed? How did we get from that, or that lifestyle to where we are today? And this is by no means saying that we've arrived at our destination. No, as we said, it's a growing. We're still building, we're still growing. But what exactly changed? What would you say changed for you?
I think for me, what changed was having conversations about money, and this we had to do when we were about to get married. We had conversations about money, what was the plan, what were our goals. I mean, just the normal conversations you have when you are getting together with somebody. And I think it was at that moment that, something clicked, and then I started becoming more conscious of the fact that you can't continue to just have enough money to live by, there had to be more to it.
Yeah. And okay, so it was. I guess as you're saying, like the first step was beginning to have conversations about it, and I think for us as well, it was actually, to be honest, it's not like we never set out to say, oh, we need to change, we need to have more money. I don't think it was so much about having more money, because it wasn't like we had the goal of this is what we want to use. As he said, money is a tool, so it's not like we had the goal of this is what we want to use the money for. But I think that one of the things was that you see people doing well, like maybe traveling and doing all these things, like maybe having really nice houses, but somewhere in your head you kind of just think it's them, oh, it's them, it's not me. So it wasn't, we weren't even dreaming or getting inspired to do more. We were kind of just okay where we were. But I think for me, like what I would say, what changed in terms of like that paycheck to paycheck, or just getting by, or just having enough to maybe just do a little bit of holiday here, a little bit of holiday there. What changed was, setting goals. I think where we got really intentional, which was actually just a couple of years ago, where we got really intentional about what we wanted to achieve, and writing it down. I think that was when things got really serious for us. And this was like a couple of years into marriage, as I said, and just a couple of years ago that we started to do that. And that was where you could actually say, okay, this is what we want to do. This is the time we want to do it by. How do we get there? And you want to say something?
And I think as well for me, it was our why became stronger as the years went by. So for me,
so the first point was we set goals. The second point is that our why, we defined our why.
And then for me, it was about the fact that I wanted to live life on my own terms. I wanted to be able to make money, have money, and also do things that I'm passionate about without, having to worry about money. So there was a dream. We established our why, and
I think my why was pretty similar as well. And it's just, I don't want to be so scared about losing a job or thinking, oh my god, if I lose this job, I'm done. Or if I lose this job, I only have enough to get by for a month. I don't want that fear hanging around me. I don't want to. I want to live. I'm not saying I want to be lazy and sit around at home doing nothing, but I want to be able to do it on my own terms. As he said, I want to go where I want to go, not having someone sending me a message. If I'm responding, it's a bit too special because I still have a 9 to 5, by the way. He's doing this full time, doing property full time, but I still have a 9 to 5. So even now, sometimes you get messages at work and it's like, oh, how I wish I didn't have to. But obviously, the times and seasons, there's time for everything. So I think, being able to live life on our own terms and I guess essentially call the shots. So that was the first thing that changed, setting a goal. And I think setting the goal. So this is what, just talking about how we've been able to build our business or our portfolio, our property portfolio to 7 figures. So the thing with building a goals is that it helps you, to see where you're going, like where you want to go. Like if you don't define it, you will get to where you're going without even knowing that you're there. And I read something. I said, if you don't know where you're going, you wouldn't know how to get there, and you wouldn't even know when you get there, because you're just there. You could be doing so well, you could have achieved so much, but it doesn't mean anything because you haven't written it down, you haven't said. So writing down our goals, and actually, when I mean physically write or typing in this case, typing out our goals, not just having it somewhere in your head, was like a major changer or game changer for us. And then with that, we also have to have like honest assessment of where we were. Again, you've written down the goals, this is where we want to go to, but it's a case of where are we right now. So you talk about that, like just doing an honest assessment.
Yeah, I think evaluating where you are really helps a lot. So imagine if you wanted to get to the top of a hill and you keep deceiving yourself, you keep deluding yourself that you're on top of the hill. You wouldn't really, have anything to strive for. But if you realize that, I'm 230 feet down, or I'm 230 steps down, then you're able to say, okay, I need to get up, to this certain place. And I think that was very instrumental for us. And I think, like Scripture says, write down the vision, make it plain, such that he who runs,
you may read it. It may run with it, it will read or something like that.
And there's a
so as you
that
read
says
it,
that
like
even when you're running, you can read it. So that's just to say how plain that the goal has to be. So yeah.
Yeah, so I was saying, sorry, the point. So as I said, we've written on the point. So it was honest assessment on taking stock of.
Oh yeah. So after you've made an assessment of where you are, and look at your numbers, look at your salary, look at your expenses, and all of that.
Like if you need to go to your bank statement.
Because sometimes I think somebody once said that you can find your value in your bank statement. Whatever you put.
Place value on,
you will see it on your paycheck.
If transactions.
If it is
McDonald's.
if it is cloth, if it's McDonald's,
if it's extensions,
you would find it there. So having done that, after you've done the assessment, also apart from financial assessment, you also need to do an assessment of everything. What resources are available to you? What is your skill set? What do you know how to do? And I think for us, we were able to identify where we were, and we knew what we had that could get us to where we wanted to go.
Yeah, which brings us to the next point, which is about, realizing that we needed help to move forward. We needed help to get to where we wanted to go to. So when you've written the goal, you've taken assessment of where you are, you've taken a stock of your resources, be it financial and other resources that you have available. The next thing that you want to do is to be able to, say, okay, I need to get from A to C. How do I need help to get there? And so for us, we realized that we needed help. And that help for us came in the form of property mentorship. So we needed someone that has been there, done that, like still doing it. It's people that we can see that this one wasn't like audio. It wasn't audio investors or audio developers, like people that, we could see that, they have the results that we are looking to get as well. And
then just to say this, if it wasn't clear enough, what we decided, the route we decided to go through was property. So we knew that property could get us to where we wanted to get to, because we've seen it, get people from where they were to, where they are now, which was where we wanted to be. So we sought help in that regard. So a mentor in property. So and this video isn't necessarily about property as it were. Once you identify whatever your vehicle is, then if you need help, get help.
So for you, it could be a business idea that you're toying with. It could be literally anything. It could be a mixture, a couple of things. But again, you don't want to do like 1 million things at the same time, such that you're not getting any done. But for us, it was property. Okay, so we realized that we needed help. We decided to be serious about mentorship, and we got a property mentorship group, and we also chose to be accountable in that, because you can also sign up for programs and do things, and 2 weeks in, I was like, yeah, I'm
Just don't
done.
show up.
You don't show up, you don't do what you need to do because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you still are the one that is going to do the work, no matter the amount of help.
Yeah.
Except you're still going to have to walk to get to point
So
C.
even though there's help around you, you
You need
have
to
to
seek it.
take a step and actually go to seek the help.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
because you could
get it.
have you could maybe a particular business you're thinking about. You could have 5 people that do that same business. They're
Yeah.
thriving in it, and you just think you don't actually ask them. You don't actually put yourself under their tutelage, and you just kind of think because I'm around them,
Yeah.
I should, or I hear them speak about this all the time, so I should be able to do it too. I think there's definitely a lot of value and a lot of wisdom in you putting yourself under tutelage, and getting education, which is essentially what we did. And I think we spoke about this earlier, like establishing your whys or really defining your whys.
Yeah.
And why this is really important is that, of course, it's not going to be rosy or true. You're going to have challenges on your journey, as you do in life anyway. So when the challenges come, you want to know if you don't have a strong why you're done for what you're doing or why you're doing what you're doing, it could be easy to just fall back into like that comfort zone. The comfort zone could be where you're just okay, getting by on paycheck to paycheck, or you're just okay getting by living with your parents, depending on what level or what stage you are. You're just kind of happy to just kind of coast, and you're not suffering, you're not poor, you're just there, like just there. It's definitely not thriving, you're just existing. So you need to define this. So that's why it's really important to define your why. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I trying to achieve more? Why am I trying to improve myself financially, but speaking specifically financially.
And just to sort of add to that, I think that why also ties into how much do you want it. There's a quote that says that if you are not tired of where you are, you wouldn't get enough motivation to go to where you want to be. And I think that's what ties back to what you were saying, that if you don't establish your why, if you don't want it that much, you could start and then stop. But if you know that you're tired of the situation where you are in,
that stopping is not an option. You can take a break, you can get tired, you could need someone to motivate you every now and then, but essentially you're still going to really want to pick yourself up and get back out there and keep moving. Okay. And then very important point, you need to surround yourself with the right people. We cannot stress this enough. This is crucial. It's one thing, trying to break out of the mold and do something different when everyone else hasn't done it, when everyone else around you hasn't done it. But it's another thing to have those same people around you, but then they're pushing you down and saying you can't. They may not have done it, but they may not. If they're not saying anything about it, that's fine. You're in a better position than people saying, why are you stressing yourself? You can't, you don't need to do this. Why are you doing all this work? It's not necessary. Aren't you okay? Why can't you just sleep? Or why can't you just go out with us tonight? Why? There's just when you don't. But if you have the right people around you, people that are not necessarily doing the exact same thing that you're trying to do, but people that make you dream, more. People that make you believe that you can do it. People that make you believe that you're not asking for too much, or the goals that you're trying to achieve are not beyond you. People that make you just believe that you can, or it's just, even if they're not there yet, right? They may not be there yet, but they just believe in you, and hopefully they're also on the journey, because that will also encourage you. Because even though they're not doing the exact same thing you want to do, but if they're sharing their challenges, you can also learn from that. We all learn, no one is an island. We learn from each other. So it's very important, for you to surround yourself with the right people. And it's not every time that you be the star in your group. You need people that you can learn from as well. You can have circles where you're the one pouring out, you're the one influencing them and pouring into them. But you also need a circle where you're the one
being challenged.
The one being challenged. You're the one being poured into. So I think very important.
And then just remember that you're an average of your friends. I think it's important to celebrate milestones. I can't even overemphasize this. When you've gotten to a certain milestone that you set, celebrate yourself.
Take yourself out.
Take yourself
Take
out.
yourself on holiday.
Go on a
Buy
vacation.
yourself a gift.
Just do something to appreciate yourself, because when we celebrate ourselves, it just feels like it's like an opportunity to rejuvenate. And then that there's still the mark ahead, but I've done this and I've done this, I'm good, and then it's time to move on. And then re-evaluating your goals. There are times when you set goals.
Sorry, can I just say something about currently, like I'm looking forward to like being going on a trip, like we're currently in the middle of a project, and well, towards the end
projects.
of it, like, towards the end of a particular one, and I have a goal in mind in terms of like once this is done, like I'm looking forward to like going away. So it's kind of like motivating. I know that towards the end of it is where like all the work comes in. So I know that yes, I'm going to be really busy in this next few weeks, but I have X thing to look forward to. That this is I'm going to do this for myself once we do this. So I think I even said I was going to buy myself something. I forgot. Yeah. But anyway, you have like so it motivates you to also keep pushing. Yeah.
Yeah,
you're talking about re-evaluating. Okay.
Yeah, so re-evaluating your goals because things happen. Opportunities come. Challenges happen in life. You need to not beat yourself up, especially when you don't hit certain targets
milestones.
Or certain milestones. So it might be a time that you just come, take time, to just look at your goals and say, okay, how far am I doing? How much more to go? And in some
is it
cases,
unrealistic? Do I need to change something?
Yeah, and in some different cases, you might have actually achieved your goals within a time frame shorter than you thought. Then it's time to add something else to it, and then it's your goalpost, like
so you can choose to move it
at any point in time, and nobody will question you.
So the other thing is to dream again and get inspired. As we were saying earlier, like the lifestyle, I guess we're having the opportunity to live now. It's not something that we ever really dreamed of because you just kind of think it's them. Like I don't have to, like it's them. Like whoever them is, define your them. But you think it's them, like it's not, and that's not for, like, oh, that's not for me. Just because you count yourself out, you just think I can't achieve it. But you need to find a way to dream. You need to find a way to get yourself into a space where your head is able to be like, or where you're able to be inspired. Like I was talking to some people this morning or this afternoon, and I was just like, I was saying them like, I'm really, really looking forward to like building a house. And I was saying, I don't think you're there. I was saying that that it's going to have an indoor pool, and I was like, this is something that. Right now, I'm not necessarily, or we're not necessarily in a position to build our house, but it's something that, like, I know, like, almost like without a shadow of doubt, by God's grace, that we will do. And that's a goal, that's a dream. I'm already kind of inspired and like seeing the picture of what it would look like and how whatever it is that we want to do. So you need to be able to dream and that's the whole idea of dreaming. It's not saying that dreaming is not just about like what you can do today and now. It's like I may not have the resources right now, I may not be able to get there right now, but I know that in X amount of time, this is where I want to be, this is where I should have gotten to at that time. So you need to get inspired, you need to see yourself living the life that this them are living, and that's where you'll be able to start pushing the goalpost and not just being your village champion.
and then just to sort of put context into that, for me, sometimes the them situation and the dream might not be an holistic thing. Sometimes it could just be in little things. Say, for example, we had a luxurious holiday towards the end of last year. You should definitely watch that video if you haven't. I'm sure it'll be linked somewhere.
Or if it's not linked, just check it out. Like our trip to Maldives and Dubai.
Yeah, it was a lovely holiday. But just thinking about it, a year before then, I wouldn't have ever imagined that I would be in that position. Not that we couldn't necessarily afford it, but it was just that.
Actually, even affording as well, because I was thinking like if we're just doing our 9 to 5 jobs at that, like we would have to like really save and say like I need to save for. It would be a project that we're saving for this and we're just like kind of putting a pot for this particular like the travel funds. But I don't even think we would have thought about doing that much. So and that was where really part of the wise in terms of like being able to do things that we want to do and not being tied to what I'm earning or what's this whoever is giving me and to earn this. But
And then after we've gone on that that vacation, we were at that vacation, we're telling ourselves that we definitely need to do this more because probably we met a couple from the UK as well who said, they've done this like 3 times.
Yeah.
That's come to the Maldives, and then we're like, okay, now we know that we can do it, and we're going to do more of it. And I think that's what dreaming does for you. Once you get to that place where you dream, then you dream again.
Yes.
Don't stop.
Yes, absolutely. I have an important one. Probably should have even started with this. Mindset. Have the right mindset, and the mindset you should have is I can do it. Look, a lot of times, exactly, we can do all things through Christ that strengthens us. We're Christians, in case you hadn't figured that out. A lot of things that some people. Is like we give excuses for why others, like someone maybe watching me right now or watching us right now and just think, oh, you guys can do it because you live in the UK and things it's easy to get credit in the UK, and oh, it's because your sister does it and all your sisters do it. Like you can just give like 1,001 reasons why they are doing it and why I'm not doing it, but they're all excuses. The beautiful thing and the beautiful part I love about God is that God knows exactly where each person is, but yet it still puts those dreams in us. And before he puts, like, there's a scripture that talks about, I'm going into preaching mode, right? There's a scripture that talks about, like, is the one that gives us the will to do. It's the one that gives us the desire to, the will and the desire to do it. So it's like that, those dreams that you have in your head, just when you're thinking like, oh, I want to have like an orphanage, I want to have an outreach for, like, I want to have this charity organization, or I just want to buy myself this or do, like, those things, like some of those things, not every single one of them, some of those things, they are God inspired, right? And if it's putting it to your heart to do, why are you thinking about the reasons why you can't do it? He saw where you were before he told you, before that dream came alive. Like, or if you're watching this and you're really feeling like, yes, this is when you're speaking to me, but I can't, like, just, that's, you need to like renew your mind. You need to renew your mind, and the mindset you need to have is I can do it. It may be harder for you to do it than it will be for someone else. If I don't know, if the Queen of England decided to buy a property somewhere, she's not going to need to plan, she's not going to need to get a mortgage. There's nothing, she can literally just think, oh, I like that property, and she has it tomorrow, right? But for me, if I need to do that, I may need to have like a 10-year goal, a 5-year goal, or whatever, like a 1-month goal before I'm able to get it. And for you, it may be that you need a 10-year goal to be able to do it. So wherever you're at, know that you can. Yes, you may need to put in extra work, you may need to have a few less hours of sleep than others will, and that's just the price to pay, but you can do it. So you need to have the right mindset.
And then just to add to the can-do mentality, I believe that when you think of everything that we've spoken about, and you say to yourself you can do it, it almost feels like it opens your mind to opportunities. And without sounding like a Zen coach or something right now, it feels like the resources are available, just because you have the mindset that you can do it. So you start meeting people that can help you get there. You start having conversations that would get you there.
Absolutely. So you can do it. If that's one thing you take away from this video, know
if
that
we can do it, you can
exactly.
do it.
And that's what we also heard from this video, where you're seeing, like, I guess regular people, because we're royalty, we're not regular. Okay, wait, because sometimes, like, you can see, like, all like all the billionaires and millionaires, and you think, oh, you guys, you're just millionaires. Those are the millionaires. But when you see people like yourself that you can see yourself in, or people that you can relate to, and they're telling you that, look, I wasn't here 3 years ago, I wasn't here 2 years ago. This is a journey, like, that just not just, but this is a journey that I've been on, and I'm still carrying on, and I'm saying, like, come along as well. Then hopefully, like, you're more motivated to actually get up and move. Get up and do it. So yeah, final point. Please, let me just take a break at this point. If you have not subscribed to my channel and you're still watching at this point, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and also please leave those comments below. I really, really love reading your comments. All right, final point is the most important point, and the most important thing has helped us to build our growing, 7-figure property portfolio. It is,
just before I go to the final point, I want to sort of state it that whilst we're saying you can do it and no excuses and all of that, you must remember that it's not just about yourself, it's also about the situation that's happening. For us, this change has happened during the pandemic. So when everybody has mourned and complained, that was when when others were saying there was a casting down.
We were saying that there was a lifting up. Hallelujah, somebody.
And that just gives me into the very last point, the God factor.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
there's there's so many things that you could do by yourself, but there are some things that it takes the grace of God to help you do easily. So there are some of these things that, because you will see unbelievers doing the same thing and then they're getting result, but there is a grace that comes with a believer, and when you believe in God and then you commit your plans to God's hands, because there's a scripture that says commit your ways into God's hands and He will direct your path.
Acknowledge Him in all your ways and He directs your path.
So whilst from the start we've alluded to the fact that God gives you the dreams, but whilst you get to the point of the dreams, and even if you don't have dreams, even if you can't dream, you can start with God and say, God, please give me a dream.
This is where I'm at. I don't want to be here anymore. The scripture, I'm so sorry to go. The scripture that says is the one that gives us power to make wealth.
Absolutely. So and for you, if you feel like everything is against you, probably now is the time to take it to God. And after you've taken it to God, or if you're in a stage where you've got your plans all set out, you've got your goals written out, take your goals to God as well and say, God, these are my goals. Help me, make this happen. And
and also, so I mean, you can do that, but also if you're just in a point where just there's no even dream, you just don't even have the motivation to dream, there's nothing, you're not inspired, nothing, then go to God as well. Ask Him, what does He want you to do? Ask Him for He gives the inspiration, He gives the desires, He places it in there. So if you're just in a point where you're just not dreaming, you don't have any goal, you can't even think of what can be a goal for you, but at the same time you know that where you are is not where you should be, then go to God and ask Him. He's our Father at the end of the day. So we definitely cannot overemphasize the role of God, the God factor in everything we've said, because there are people that can do exactly the same things we've done, and maybe they may get there, but it may take them a lot longer to get there, or it may take a lot more resources, it may take a lot of more toiling, to get there, but which is where the grace of God comes in, and being constantly having God, and what all these things we're not doing it outside of God, but even as we're being blessed as well, trying to be blessings to other people as well, and not just doing me, myself, and I, and it's all about when I get this money, it's all about what I'll use just for myself, thinking about other people as well. But yes.
And there's a favorite quote that I love, is that we are blessed to be a blessing. And you need to bear in mind that whilst we've moved from being broke to a growing 7-figure property portfolio and all of that, and you are also aspiring for that, you need to bear in mind that you are blessed to be a blessing. So
even from where you are, even before you get there, wherever there is for you, while you are because what you're considering to be 5%, I don't have enough, is someone else's 100%, and that being in terms of resources, in terms of the things so yes, don't look down. I think what we're saying is don't look down on what you have, and to be honest, if you can't develop a giving culture or an helping culture right now where you are, it's not necessarily when you get there that you're able to do it.
There's something that I fondly believe, that the difference between where you are and where you are isn't the resources that you don't have, it's the resources that you have that you don't know how to use. So I'm sure
motivation. Welcome to your TED Talk. But thank you so much for watching, and we really, really hope that this video inspires you, it blesses you, encourages you, and you can always come back to watch this video over and over again, even when you're feeling discouraged and feeling like I can't, and maybe we would even come back to watch this video at some point to get inspired again. But thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, share. You never know who would need to hear this at this moment in time. Leave a comment. I really would want to know what you think about this video.
And if you need help, you can
give us a shout. Check our social media platforms as well. I'll put it in the description.
Seyi Daniels.
He's always in the description, but I'll use as well. All right, then. Thank you so much for watching. Tommy Daniels.
Seyi Daniels.
Goodbye. Bye.